Thank you.
First of all, I would like to thank the Contentsquare team for inviting me here and being part of this amazing presentation. What I'll talk through in the beginning would be something that would sound pretty obvious, very, very intuitive, even though something which is so intuitive and so obvious, many other companies still are struggling with that foundation. And as we say, a great building looks great, but it has to stand up on a really, really strong foundation. Having said that, Alamar, so first of all, just to quickly introduce Alamar, we are a Saudi-based conglomerate which has got several different interests into many companies, and one of that company is called as Alamar Foods. We are a part of Al Group, and Alamar Foods manages Domino's Pizza and Dunkin' Donuts, and we are present across 11 markets in the Middle East, North Africa, and Pakistan region. What I'm going to talk today about is mainly one of the businesses that we manage, which is called Domino's Pizza. To start with, as I said, something very basic before I get to the real use cases as what we did, but then we obviously have to start with something that is foundational to the digital business. So what is digital strategy? Very, very simply put, something which is frictionless, seamless, and delightful journey for the customers to place their order. Because as much as you can imagine, Domino's Pizza is close to around 70 to 80% digital business. So we obviously need to be pretty strong in what we do on our online presence. So what are the three key pillars to it? One is the frictionless journey. The other one is personalized journey. And the third and most important is to leverage the power of data and insights through our technology. I was just hearing from the gentleman from Zen. In our case, thankfully, we have got the whole digital business as one entity. So which means that the digital marketing, the digital product development, and the development part of all, and the aggregator part is all under one department. So that is kind of, we are blessed to have that kind of a structure there. So just to start with, okay, so what does this mean for us? What does seamless digital experience means for us? So basically what I see is that, and it was the same with us as well, that product after product gets developed in every company. Okay, now we need something which will enhance our coupon system with the customers. We need something for us to have a far better payment ecosystem for the customer. We want something for a very beautiful digital ecosystem for the customer. But it all doesn't speak to each other. It is not integrated with each other. And that eventually when you are wanting to do a great digital marketing campaign to build loyalty, that is when you realize that, oh my God, my coupon is not speaking to my CRM, and my CRM is not speaking to my delivery system, and my delivery system is not speaking to something else, and thereby while it might look like a great idea, I cannot implement it. And therefore, a seamless digital experience is something very, very important and very foundational to build upon. The other is the next generation conversation interface. So we have been working hard towards building our AI conversation interfaces, wherein the whole idea is that how can we ensure that to 70 to 80% of our customer queries can be answered and completely resolved through our AI agent itself, and not just about giving them the obvious answer through the knowledge base, but also intelligently able to resolve the customer concerns, resolve the queries that they have by end-to-end giving them the final resolution. And finally, the insight-driven product development. You would have seen, and I'm sure that in many of the companies today, you would be getting data from brand health tracker, from your voice of customer, from your, let's say, Contentsquare. And then you are getting data from your Google, from your sessions, from your conversion. And every single research information you are analyzing separately. How do we collect all of this into a single piece of information which will give you the better insights for us to be able to build a better consumer experience and a better user experience on our website. That is something very, very critical, and now we are integrating all our research data into a single piece wherein we are able to correlate about what does the customer is saying, how is the employee experience is being, and how is it correlated a better employee experience, giving a better customer experience, and so on and so forth. So it all starts here. Some of this doesn't work, or it doesn't work here. Okay, it all starts here, the data collection at every touch point. So, I mean, obviously all of us are having a lot of data coming in from our sessions, clicks, profile information, feedback from our voice of customer, Google, and so on and so forth. All of this must be properly tabulated and collected at one place. So this is the first and foremost investment that we did. We moved into something called as Redshift. Our data lake, we built it on Redshift, wherein now we have got, and when we started this journey in 2023, we had close to around 6 touch points that we collected into one. By 2024, it became 14, and by 2025, now we have got close to 24 different sets of information, all getting injected into the same place. And moving on from 2026 and onwards, we are gathering more and more, connecting more and more information to the single source of truth. That really helps us to turn all these insights into actions, into meaningful actions, meaningful campaigns that are very personalized to the customer, and which we can track and ensure that our conversion rates keeps getting better over time. And most important is the closed loop learning. This is something that most of the time we miss out. When the campaign is successful, we don't know what do we do with a successful campaign. The most important thing that we need to be able to do is to understand what was the core reason of that success, how to replicate that success, how to make that success even better. When the campaign is not so successful, we also need to know what did not work. Was it the offer? Was it the channel? Was it the time? Was it the day? Was it just the wrong personalization? As you know, my friend from Zen was also mentioning about certain change in the creative. We noticed that giving an offer, for example, 20% off on your next order, has one conversion rate, and when we say the same thing as your love for pepperoni pizza is not a secret anymore, 20% off on your next pepperoni pizza, the conversions are double of what, I mean, the same customer could have taken 20% off on any pizza, including the pepperoni pizza. But the moment you say your love for pepperoni is not a secret, and there's a 20% on pepperoni, it makes all the difference. And that is the closed loop. That is where you need to learn as to what is successful, what is not to repeat what you don't do, and feed it back into the Redshift. That is very, very critical. So, a lot of challenge statements that we keep getting: high traffic, low to conversion. And this is the same for probably most of us. Acquisition is very strong, but our conversion to for the first time buyers to repeat customers is not so high. Order and delivery experience are defining our customer value, but how are we managing our delivery experience? First party customer data is very critical. Now in the age of aggregators, wherein the first party data is most of the time not so available, that is so critical for us to be able to do proper personalization. And then customers expect a seamless, fast, intuitive experience. Now what I do is that over the next maybe 7-8 minutes, I'll take you through real life examples, real use cases of what did we do by capturing the information that we captured through different sources. This is the street right out of Contentsquare. As you can see, the first box wherein the early journey exits are very high. From 80% it drops to only 80% of that 80% that goes forward. And that is our location page. And then you see a late stage hesitation from the payment page to checkout. There is a big drop there as well. So what is happening? So when we started to look at things in more detail. So what did we do? Real examples. This is our location page. And what we realized is that the customers, after getting into the location page, are getting confused and they are not moving forward as much better as they should be. And what we realized is that our pin is not mapped to our address. So the customer can put the pin in the middle of the sea and they can still put the address in Olaya Street. So they were not mapped to each other. So what we did is that we completely changed our whole location experience and we matched it exactly what you do on Google Maps. So the exact same thing. It really enhanced our delivery location capture and our, the whole experience got much better. Our conversions and the bounce rates got much better. Another example, wherein the feedback was very clear that the customers are spending a lot of time from the payment page to checkout. There was a lot of back and forth happening. Because what we have always done in the Domino's environment is that we don't want to confuse the customer with showing up the price all the time. But the customers, when they reached the checkout page, they said that, oh, I started with a coupon that should have costed me this much. But now I have used the checkout, which is somewhat different from what I expected. And then the customer keeps going back and forth. And that's what we saw in the videos as well with Contentsquare. So what we did, we added the display the price button. By adding the display the price button, the customer now had the ability to be able to see what they're ordering, how much are they adding or deleting from their cart real time during the journey. Another great example, voice of customer clearly revealed that our customers face difficulty in redeeming unique coupons. So we used to get unique coupons based on the personalization, right? So if somebody would get a buy one get one, somebody would get a 20% off, and these were all unique coupons that the customer had to use. But the customers are getting confused about where to use it, how to redeem it. So what we did, we created a wallet for every customer. Rather than sending the customer a coupon which the customer could use in during their journey, we added the coupon in their wallet. We started with this. Then we realized that this is massive because the customers are now far more happy and they know that, and we can just tell them that the coupon is lying in your wallet, just click on the coupon and the whole journey is seamless. You don't have to worry about entering the code or anything. What we realized is this is so powerful. We enhanced it, and today our wallet is a storage of 3 different types. We can send a coupon to the customer, we can send a free product to the customer, and we can also add Domino's money to their wallet. So then it made the whole loyalty ecosystem so much more stronger, because to some set of customers, based on their behavior with us, we could give them a free pizza, we could give them a free coupon, or we could give them money. All of that was possible by adding the wallet to the customer's journey. Again, this is another great example of as I was saying that if your ecosystem is not strong, if your interconnectivity of your products are not strong, you will have a great idea, but you will never be able to implement it. This is a good example of this. So what we realized from our voice of customer is that when we are delivering a pizza beyond 42 minutes, the overall satisfaction score actually drops by more than 50%. So that was massive, right? So, and the best time is to be able to deliver within 30 minutes, but between 30 to 42, the OSAT score drops massively. So we understood that we need to be able to, and what also happens is that if the customer's order is delayed, the customer calls up the call center checks with the store checks with the driver tells that, yeah, this order was delivered at this time. I mean, the whole process will take ages for the customer to get any kind of a compensation. Now, we have our own delivery system, our own GPS system, which we call it Path 1. Path 1 is connected to our CRM is connected to our e-wallet, and since the whole ecosystem was ready, we said, that's it. If the order will be delivered exactly 1 minute beyond 30 minutes, the customer will get second pizza free coupon in their wallet. If the order will be delivered between 40 to 50 minutes, the customer will get a free pizza. And if the order delivers after 50 minutes, 100% money back. No interaction with the driver to be done. The driver goes and delivers the product to the customer. Driver swipes have delivered. Immediately, the system understands that this order was delivered in 43rd minute. 43rd minute, the CRM understands. CRM activates e-wallet, and e-wallet, according to the tier, activates the coupon, and the coupon is now going and sitting in the customer's wallet. Immediately, the next time, within a minute, the customer gets a message, "We are sorry, we made a mess out of it, we got delayed, we have already compensated your wallet, you can log in and check, the money is there in your wallet." Again, insights. So this was another challenge that not every customer adds their profile, right? A lot of customers would do a guest checkout. So one of the challenges for us was how do we ensure that the customers register and then they also add their profile information to our site, and basic profile information like name, nationality, gender, date of birth, and year of birth. We don't take the date. Just so that you know that we don't want to know your age. All that we don't need to know is your birth. So what we did is that we added certain features for registration, and then we added certain incentives for the customers to be able to give their profile. So that massively improved our registration and profile information. Today, close to around 60% of all the customers who logs into Domino's to place an order are not ordering as guests but as registered users. And out of those 60%, almost 80% of the customers actually ends up completing their profile. And this all happens because of this. This is the core of all that we do. So we connected our customer data platform, all the analytics, to our loyalty ecosystem, which is our e-coupon and e-wallet, to our complete payment ecosystem, which is pay by link, integrated terminals, soft POS, and then all our OLO, which is our Domino's, and our OLO, which we call it for our Dunkin', and with our Path One, which is our complete delivery ecosystem, to our third-party fleet and everything all together. So even the third-party fleet, if they go and deliver an order to the customer, this whole ecosystem is connected to each other and is also connected to our CDP. So that is what is really, really helpful. As basic as it may sound, this is where the effort goes. And if this is done right, lot of innovation can happen over marketing and over technology. So, in summary, what's next for us? We are using Contentsquare in focused phases. Basically, we are learning, we are adapting, we are changing, and then we are again experimenting and checking how has that helped, and basically then redefine it, re-monitor it, and to take it forward. We are also implementing targeted design for our user interface and whatever changes that we need to do. We are re-measuring our Contentsquare validation impact and experimenting and implementing and again gathering more data to implement, to experiment more, and to implement better things. So in summary, from data to design, insights to experience, it's a continuous learning loop that we need to be into, and that is what is going to build our next generation for customer experience. Thank you so much.